Hey guys, this is KGK revealed yet again with another Soulcalibur 5 character creation video. So far we've done Marvel, and we even did Final Fantasy. But now I'm gonna really try to do something different that most people don't even think about doing. Let's do a journey to the past, to our childhood, middle school years, even for some high school years. Talking about YuGiOh. You know, the trading card game we played in the lunchroom. Me and my friends been doing some, and well, for me, I always like one of Yugi's cards called Celtic Guardian. So here's my take on Celtic Guardian. This is what I got so far when I tried doing Celtic Guardian. I actually think it looks really close. It took a little bit of work, you know, some mistakes, some flaws, but I think I got it for the most part. Let's go over the basics of how to do your Celtic Guardian. For the height, we set the height to for, you know, his normal height. Wasn't tall, but he wasn't short. Now for his body belt. He wasn't a small guy, but he wasn't a big guy either. So I set his body belt, basically upper arms and his forearms, to -8 respectively. His pectorals, -8. Hips I set to -20, thighs -7, calves also -7. The stomach is also at -20, along with the waist. And set the muscle mass to +4. Why 4? Because even though he wasn't a big guy, he was pretty cut. If you look at him while he's actually in the show, whenever he took out that sword, you knew he was going to do damage. His face, I set his face to 20. Gave him a medium cut hairstyle. And his eyebrows I set to -19. Well, I said -19. Eyebrows I set to 19. For the voice, I used Reliable Leader, 8 and 8. So that's it for the body. Now for the equipment, the head equipment, I gave him the Mengu helmet. For the undergarments, gave him the rubber unitard. For the upper body, I gave him the Ashigaro's armor. And for the lower body, I gave him the Jad Purs. The reason why, when you put them on, if you don't know this by now, playing the game, the top portion of the pants look baggy, and the bottom portion don't. But here, he got the boots that cover the bottom portion, so who cares about the bottom portion? You only see the top portion, which looked kind of baggy, and Celtic Guardian's pants looked a little bit baggy. They didn't look tight. For the hip equipment, I gave him the warrior's belt. After all, he is a warrior. Now for the neck, give him the Lord's mantle. And for the arm, gave him the leather armlets. For the shoulders, I thought the shoulder plates worked the best. And I gave him some socks, but you don't really have to worry about that too much. For the feet, I gave him the cuff boots. Now for the special equipment is always an important feature. You have to give him the elf ears. He is an elf. So give him the elf ears. It gives him those pointy ears like how Link has it in the Zelda series. For the helmet piece, if you didn't notice when you picked the helmet, those portions at the side are not with the helmet. That's something you have to add on your own. That's the feathers of strength. So add that into the thing as well. The elf ears you don't even have to really play with. That you could do on your own for your own look if you want the ears to be really pokey or not. But the feathers of strength, you have to give it exact location. Obviously, it's set to the head. The numbers for the horizontal are 13. For the vertical, set that to 12. Back is set to 0. Width is set to 0 along with length. So it's basically as default size. The depth is set to 0 as well. Rotation vertically is set to -168, where horizontally is not affected at all. The angle, however, is set to 27, and that's going to be the position for the feathers of strength equipment attached to the helmet. Now that you have the equipment, you have to worry about first the weapon style, and then the colors. I gave him Mr. Rugi's weapon style. Reason why? He uses 2 hands when he's fighting. Now the sword is the second reason why I use Mr. Rugi's weapon style. His sword in the series is, you know, the classic sword that has the triangle blade tip. So I used the tire fling sword. It's hard pronouncing that name. But I used the tire fling sword. It looks closest to the sword he has in the series. For the color, skin color set to 980. The hair color I set to 9911, along with the eyebrow color. Actually, no, wait, I apologize. The eyebrow color is actually darker than the hair color. Yet again, if the eyebrow color and the hair color are the same, just for whatever reason, the eyebrows look brighter. So set the eyebrows to 9927. Very important you do that. The eyes, he had a dark brown eyes or just a light brown eyes. So I gave him 9620. And yet again, the eyes, set the eyes to the outside eyes to 000. So that way it looks more cartoonish. Now for the head equipment. The first part set to 3011. The second portion set to 92328. For the undergarments, set that to 9130. This part is very difficult because he's supposed to have more of a dark tan color undergarment piece, but you can't get that because in this game they're really strict on the colors for the undergarments. So you have to play around that and see a color that goes as close to brown as possible. And for me, that was 9130. For the upper body covering, the first color set to 92226. This color you're going to use basically throughout. Anything that's green, 92226. So remember that number, 92226 for anything that's green from this point on. For the second color, which is the gray color, set that to 508. Remember that color, 508. Anything that's gray is going to use approximately the same number. So remember that. So for the following two colors, you basically know the numbers for them. I shouldn't have to go over the numbers for those colors. For the pants, set the color for the pants to 994. He gets the tan color in his pants. For the hip equipment, set that to 100. Same thing goes for the second color. Well, actually, that's more 900. That seems to work better. The third portion, which is the side portion of his hips, set that to 94522. Okay? Not too fast, I'm sorry about that. Now we have to get to the cape. The first part of his cape, same color, 94522. Anything that's blue is going to be the same color. That goes for the front part of his cape and the back part of his cape. Now for the little piece in the middle, that little button that snaps the cape together, I gave it a red color. You could give it whatever color you want. I used red. Now for the arm equipment, the larger portion or the first color I set to a tan. I used 986. For the second color I used a dark gray, 4021. Now all you went over the shoulders. So you see his green, you see his gray. So remember the numbers I told you before. This way I can get through the video a little bit faster. The ankle equipment is not important, it's the socks, so who cares? Now the feet, basically give it like a consistent light brown. For this one, really you can play around with it. There's no specific color for it. It's really your choice. The more important parts are the specialized equipment. The elf ears, you don't need to play with those. If anything, just make the skin match the elf ears. So whatever skin you pick, for like whatever skin color you pick, the elf ears have to match it. That way it looks more like it belongs to his body. Now, these equipments for the feathers of strength, set to that same gray color. I use 6011. That worked the best for me. So both are the same exact thing. 6011. In this case, this one's actually 9010. So you could use 6011, or for some reason in this particular file, I have 9010 for my second color. Honestly, it doesn't really make a difference which one you do. It should still give you that gray you want. Okay, The only stickers that you need for the Celtic Guardian are the little triangle shapes he has under his eyes. So basically what you do is you go to the skin sticker attachment section and you pick motif 2. Pick the triangle, and set the color to 44323. The triangles under his eyes were like a really dark blue or like a navy blue, you know. It wasn't black. Now for the size, basically make the size, you know, decently small so that the triangles fit and correspond to the size of his eyes. And make sure that it's set pretty much right underneath the eyes. One you're gonna have at one size, where the other one's gonna be the same size, but you're gonna flip it. You're gonna flip it like completely over. Either that or you could rotate it, but I think flipping will make it easier. That's it for the triangles. From here, the last thing to do is his sword. Now, what I'm trying to make sure I keep consistent is whenever I do a blade and I want to color it so that way it looks like metal, I do not use gray. That's something that you do in old games, but in this one, with this feature, you're going to want to color the blade a very, very, very faint light blue. This way it looks like metal. For the holster, like, you know, his sheath, I'm going to color that a brown. 8526. And then the second part, the part that goes around it, give it that gold color, 6912. Then the bottom portion, the handle of the sword, set that to 23516. And lastly, the weapon trail, choose whatever you want. I used light green or the regular green. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's it for Celtic Guardian. Now, if you have any more questions, make sure to email me, and please subscribe to my channel. The more subscriptions we get, the more people visit, and the more videos like this you will see. So that's it for now. Catch us later. This is KGK Revealed of KGK.